Hey, welcome to the process. My name is Dr. John Bush. This is my continued lesson on ADP versus end of the season fantasy points, and we're hitting quarterbacks, part 2. You should obviously see part 1. In part 1, it was pretty clear that the last 4 years were different than the preceding 4. So there was like something was going down. Okay. So I didn't look at it so hard, but I did just pull out just for us to finish that point. Look at 2019, 20, 21, 22. You can see here a nice surface graph here. Sometimes surface graphs are kind of fun to check out. It's fun for me. It may not be fun for you, but it's fun for me. I like the stuff. I like the visual. So what you see in the chart is the ADP of the quarterbacks, right? It's not overall ADP, just ADP of the quarter. So the first quarterback, second to the 20th, right? And as you know, unless it's in a super flex, about 20 is about all you need to mess with. And best ball, I know you need to give further, but I play a lot of redrafts, so that's one quarterback. So that's why I set this database up like this. So I have the resulting end of the season fantasy points, and I stained, colorized the top 30%, so you can kind of see where that landed. And you can see, for instance, 2022, in the top 7, 4 of them were really spectacular. The year before, 5 of them, going down to ADP 10, were really nice. 2020, it was 5, 6, 7 were really good at the 11, and then 19 only down to the 12th. Did you have some hits? There were definitely a few misses along the way. And so when I said 19 to 22 was different, true, but it really, to me, looked like the last 3 years have really been interesting. But I wanted to look at the last 4, so I made a surface graph. And basically, the further and deeper the pyramid goes upside down, the worse it is. Okay? So right away, you can see we got a problem 10, we got a problem 13, 14, 18, 19, and 20 are all issues. So right in here, looks awful risky. And then look at the surface here. The top 3 is really high, right? So lots of goodies here. It drops down to level, and then 11 is the slide down to this level, and then we see a slide as well. So some people talk about tiers. I think tiers are, people use tiers to imagine what it's going to be, but when you do surface graphs, it's clear what was. And we have this tier, so the Elite 3. We then have 4 to 10 is in second tier. And then, what is it? 11's a little risky. Let's say 12 to about 18, and then another final tier. And my issue is, look at 10. Historical last 4 years, 10 has been a sad situation. And that is why, okay, that 28, so that can be a little deceiving. I do realize that. We could throw it out, but it's still 304. 285. Okay, so in the last few years, if you just look at the top three, it pushes 10 is okay, but it starts getting low. Look at 2020, 11, 12, 13 was sad. So it looked to me 7, 8, and then you were in trouble last year. Okay, you got a little reprieve the year before. Okay, until about 14. Okay, you got a little. I mean, you had a problem here at 3, but you got a okay until about. It was 9 was a little tricky. 12. It's getting a little thin out in here. So somewhere between 10, 11, and 12 has been an issue there, and certainly 13 at that point the wheels come off, and you can see half the time you're in deep poo, I guess. I won't cuss on the radio here or the podcast or whatever you're playing. But there it is, 18 and 16 points. So that's extra sad. Like I said, 2022, people are going to look at that, and I think it's going to force them earlier than ever. I think the preceding 2 years, people, I can wait. Late quarterback was in vogue. Last year, you got burned. I'm to play it safe, and I'm going to follow the lemmings. But if I do end up missing the top 7, then I think I could wait till 10 or 11 or 12. I think I can gamble, but that's what it is at that point. Just be aware. You're saying, well, how do I use this? Research. And that's what I'm going to do. Certainly, what's the current 10, 11, 12 quarterbacks? Maybe even 10, 11, maybe 9, 8, 9, 10, 11. Who's your favorite, folks? Who's your second? Kind of get you a pecking order there. Okay? So that may be a way. So, see, if you don't have that, you don't know what you're getting into, right? It's like walking into a field. Oh, it's got landmines in it. How come you didn't tell me? Oh, the sign blew down. The sign always blows down every year in fantasy football. You never know until it's too late that you're sitting on a landmine there, and you drafted a bust. To me, a bust is bottom 30% of the show, of the entire league quarterbacks. That's a bust. So 150 points, 16 points, those are busts to me. So that was 12 and 13 last year. So that's what I'm telling you this year to think about. Okay. Let's move on. 15, 16, 17, 18, again, differences. So I calibrated every end of the season fantasy point, scaled it relative to the best of the 20 of all the years. And that was the second ranked quarterback. Last year, was that Mahomes maybe? Or was it Allen? Whichever one it was, 2022 was 100%. So everybody was compared to that measure. And you just divide the points in each little box there by that total, and you get a percentile. Then you use Excel to stain the bottom and the top 30%. And look at 15, 16, 17, 18. Look at the sadness that is failure. Look at the red. Where's the green? Not much green. When I told you 19, especially 20, 20, 22, look at that. Big difference. the environment changed somewhere. It looks like 19. And remember, 20 was COVID. Had a little bit of 21 was still some COVID, but not much. And then last year. And last year was really sad. If you were below the 7, you got sucker punched, folks. 8 down, a big surprise. Even 4th and 5th were a big surprise. So you got 5 out of 7 were okay. 3 was a little weak, but okay. Let's say 70% or better. Maybe 8, but it was not good. It was a sad situation. Okay, there was not a lot of stellar play. But look at the year before, 2021. It was all good. Late quarterback, come on in. Everybody was jumping on that and probably prospered. 2022, you got burned on your late quarterback. I know, you picked the 18th quarterback at 75%. Okay, you're spectacular. For the rest of us mortals, we pretty much got burned. So remember, this year, there's going to be people look at last year. They forgot the year before and the year before. And so they certainly don't look at 8, 9 years. So they have no view of this figure here. None of the pay sites, they're not telling you this stuff. You heard anybody say this? And you're saying, well, what are you paying for? I don't know. What are you paying for? Getting this for free from the old professor? I don't know. ScienceandFantasyFootball.com. It's where I hang out, me and my partner, D. Mike. He's hitting you with his weekly values, getting you that consistency, and I'm just doing some background foundational work, tweaks your game. Okay. So realize I think there's going to be pressure on the quarterbacks even more than we've seen. Okay, just want to hear it. I predict that. People talk about it, start predicting. I predict that's a trend. Now, what does that mean? I mean that, and I'm sure I got this data somewhere. I mean, if I wanted to tease this, how you would test that is you would look for overall ADPs and compare, say, the top 7 quarterbacks for 2023 and just see what the average was versus 2022 and 21. So in other words, you could just kind of see and then you could statistically test that if you wanted to. I'm not going to. That's nitpicky even for me. I'm pretty confident that that's the trend. But if you wanted to know, could we test it? Yes, we could test it. If we plot these trend lines, red is 2021. Look how amazing 2021 was. It bottomed out. Hey, what are you doing? It bottomed out at 4.5, came back 7.8, peaked 9.10, 11, dropped again. So 2021 was interesting. Look at the year before. No, 2020. Looks like that peak started at 4, 5, 6, 7 and then dropped. And then which one is, green is 2022. Last year, look at that. All about the top 3. Hang around on 7th and then surprise. So notice that peak or that where you want to be last year was at 7. 2021 was 12. 2020, 9 or 10. Okay, so you were a little further down on that. So you can just kind of spot these. So I think this dramaticness here, right here, that bump right there is going to drive people even crazier. So that probably means then that if you're good at picking the deep quarterback, maybe 80% of the show, you might have an opportunity to pick up some wide receivers or running backs that people will have to let slide. So we could see some deeper. In the previous years, we've seen running backs go early. This year, we're getting a lot more wide receivers going early, at least in the best ball FFPC ADPs. I don't know what we're going to see by August, but right now there's that trend. So just be aware you might be able to take advantage. You either jump with the trend or you try to take advantage of that. Just write in your diary which play you did, and you could break your best ball up. Okay, I'm going to do early, I'm going to do late, quarterback, whatever. And just kind of annotate it and then take a look. Probably need multiple seasons, right? You always need lots of data to look at that. Okay, what are we doing here? So instead of ADP, the top quarterback thing, I did by overall round. So last year, the best quarterbacks were pretty much, looks like you had a shot even in the 12th round. You could have picked up, but boy, you could have got burned in the 8th and the 9th round. So I think, look, round 2, 3, 4 wasn't too bad, 5, 6. I think by the 6th round, everybody's going to try to have a quarterback. That's going to be a pain. I mean, that's people are going to do it. Look at 2021, 9th round, and you were getting goodness. So the late quarterback waiting to the 9th round, you could get away with it. So that's why I like this kind of data to look. Certainly, you don't want to wait till the 12th round. I know last year, 11th round, 10th round, 8th round, maybe 7th round. So you need to start seeing what quarterbacks, 6th, 7th, maybe 8th, be cautious, round. Start planning your play. Do you want to go 2, 3, 4, 5? Do you want to go 4, 5, 6? You want to go 6, 7, 8? So kind of pick your spot there and see who's there, and then see what you're comfortable with. With this kind of data, you can use this as a planning. Okay? I know. Well, they don't tell me that on my site I pay for. I don't know what to tell you. Here's the data. Okay? This is what's happened. Okay? Does it mean it's going to happen? No. But look at the last few years. There's been some more green than red, certainly by round 6 or above. So probably we're safe to, if you're conservative, you could probably grab a quarterback within the top 6 picks. Okay, you're probably going to get one of the better ones. Okay, so that's how you plan. And I think I've got this data for the running backs, tight ends, and wide receivers. So if you see all these lessons, I'm not sure I put it together. Now, I was thinking, I probably should have put it together. Anyway, can't do every damn thing. But there it is. That intrigues me. So I'm thinking I want a quarterback by the 6th round. Okay, let's see what this is. So by round, if you look at the median over the last 8 years, looks like round 6, look at that, to 330, bam. So you're losing 50 points by 6, so 7. See, you can see where just look at the data, it tells you where it's going to break. So break, then 11th, and then in fact, even the 10th round. This is risky in here. Yeah. I can wait here. Well, maybe you can, but what happens if it's this instead of that? Just be aware. Here's the overall trend the last 8 years, 9 years. The red is the trend. And it's pretty clear. The 6th round, you can see the stairs drop down, bam. It stays steady to the 10th. Whoa! You do not want to be on the top of this roller coaster. I know, late quarterback. Well, let me tell you, you better be damn good, late quarterbacks, if you're fishing in 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th round for your first quarterback. Rut-row. I don't think people have got the patience to wait and the nerves. And part of that is I think people kind of know this. They don't know specifically, but they kind of know this data here a little bit. Let's see, what else do I have here? Hey, there's nothing there. It's my dog. Hey, French Bulldog, will you settle down? Maybe this is a good time to quit. Okay, good time to quit. Come back.